Hello, I'm Ray, and joining me now, Amber McNutt and Ryan DeLaney both worked hard to bring the psychological thriller Night Night to life. Amber is Night Night's executive producer. She's a native of Texas, owns her own production company, Rose Dove Entertainment. Ryan DeLaney, he's a busy guy. He's Night Night producer, but also an actor, model producer, creative executive at Nikki Casa's new production company called K Factor Films. Amber, let me start with you. What drew you to become involved in this project?
Well, Robert Johnson and Nikki Koss approached me with the script the end of the summer 2019 and asked me what I thought. And we collaborated and filmed January 2020. And there were a lot of obstacles obviously over the last year, but everything worked out great. And Ryan joined us on set, and he and I have just gotten along great from the very beginning, and our movie just turned out wonderfully.
Ryan, tell me how you got involved with this team. How did you get into producing?
Yes. So my story is a little interesting. I actually got involved through Nikki Koss. So I attended one of her screenings for one of her other films, and I kind of networked with her there, and we ran around and we would like run into each other different places. And I ended up handing her my business card, and I was like, "Hey, I really value and respect your work. I would love to work with you. This is my business card. Email me, text me, let me know what projects you have going on." So maybe a week after that, she texted me and she emailed me, and she's like, "Hey, I have this incredible film, Night Night." She's like, I would love to offer you like associate producer on it. So I was like, "Oh, okay." And I've been producing, basically my whole life, but just never really getting the credit and stuff for that. And so with me not having that credit, when Nikki brought me on, she, didn't know my work ethic. So I came down to Texas, I met Amber and I met Robert and Nikki. And, those three were really the main core group, I believe, in the very, very beginning stages. And then I went down there for like pre-production, and I also worked in LA on a couple of months, prior to going down there to film. And when I was down there, I guess I exceeded their expectations. So they brought me in a room and they're like, "Listen, you're right. You have been producing your whole life, and we want to offer you like, producer credit, upgrade you from associate, and can you do that?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And I believe that was before we started filming. So that's kind of how I got involved. And then ever since then, I've just, one after another and working and just, enjoying my time as a producer.
That's quite a story. Amber, you've got a pretty cool story here too. Two youngest children along with you can be spotted in Night Night. What was it like to work behind the scenes and then in front of the camera and with your kids?
You know what? The kids did great. They were pleasant. They were excited. They followed directions really well, which is always a challenge, or can be a challenge with kids. But they got along with everyone on set, and our lead actress Brenna, and all the guys, everyone played with them. So it was really fun to have them around. They offered a little playful atmosphere to take away from some of the stress that can occur on a movie set. So it was really fun.
Ryan, you talked about stepping into that role as a full-fledged producer and how that came about. But as you did that, was there anything at working on this project that maybe you took away that you thought was a valuable thing I learned in this role?
You know what? I think on every film set I've ever been on, there's always something that I have learned. But I think something that I applied, for my work ethic to become, a step up, from associate to producer, is my communication skills. Just something that I've learned throughout my whole life, just growing up. And I really applied that. And I apply that all the time on any set that I'm on, because communication goes so far. It's very, very important. And treating people with kindness. Something that I learned, especially on Night Night, is, it takes a village to make a movie. So, it's not just your actors that are important, or your directors, or your producers, the above line. It's your whole crew. And in the makeup artist world, it's her world. I have to listen and communicate with her because we're hiring her, right? Because she's the expertise at makeup. So we need to listen to her and her concerns. And that listening goes with communication. Same with, your DP and, even your PAs, your production assistants, communication with them. They know everything. They help in every department. So I would say I applied communication, and I learned that communication really helped me, achieve what I wanted. And that's to make a movie.
Well, and in your role as lead producer, there must have been some real challenges to making this movie.
Always. There are always challenges on every single film set. There's not like one specific thing that I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so hard or not hard. It's all a challenge, but something that I succeed at is like finding solutions to challenges, hopefully before they become a challenge. So maybe that was the difficult part, is trying to foresee things, because you don't want to do that in life, like go through life foreseeing like what could happen, right? Because like it could, but that's kind of on a film set. I like to do that. So that was very challenging to say like the what ifs and have plan A, plan B, plan C, because time is money, right? On a film set, you have got to stick to your schedule. So you have to be prepared for those what ifs. And I would say that was probably challenging, preparing for what ifs when they haven't happened yet.
Amber, over and over as I do these interviews, people talk about what a team effort was, how everybody really pulled together on this. And I've only worked on a few movie sets, but it did seem like it was just one village of people getting together and working hard to get this thing done.
We worked together extremely well. And as Ryan said about listening to each person on set, I think we did. I agree with him. We did that so well. And between Nikki and Ryan and Robert and myself, we each know what we're good at. And we sort of give each other the space to do that and do our thing and be good at what we're each good at and bring all of our strengths together to make one good movie. And we uplift each other.
I'm new to this business. I would like to know some advice. How does anyone get into producing? It would start with Amber, but both of you. Have you got advice for people who would like to get into producing? As maybe Amber, especially for women, because there were a lot of women in key roles in this film, and I think that sets it apart.
Well, gosh, I mean, it always helps to have friends who are willing to get you involved. But my personal background, I was on set young as a little girl. I did some reporting, kind of like you, but not near as good as you. Anyway, I did a little reporting thing for Fox News, and there were sort of PSA, announcements. And then I taught image classes, and of course I applied for that job, but I also kind of met the right person to get involved in them. And then I'm a CPA. So I have a unique set of qualifications for producing on set. And so I do think it helps to be well-rounded, such as Ryan is well-rounded. I mean, he's got experience in a zillion different jobs and atmospheres, environments, and we're all pretty good communicators, all of our producer crew, which, as Ryan said, that's helped. And anyway, I guess to get into the business, maybe you just get out there and talk with people who are in the business and ask their advice and start getting some experience and diversify and go from there.
You work hard too, right,
Yeah.
Ryan? It's hard work.
It is.
Okay, let me ask both of you. I'll start with Ryan. Any chance of a sequel on this? I know Robert likes to write scripts in which there's the potential for a sequel.
is there a chance for a sequel? I would never say never. I that I think that's up to Robert. I think he wrote a really, really great script, and I really enjoyed reading Night Night and watching it come to life. And I think there is room for a sequel, but I unfortunately am not a writer. So I would hope that, and with our relationship, and like Amber said so beautifully about the advice of people getting into the business, we all had a great working relationship. So I feel if there is a sequel, we all may be back on your show doing an interview, because it could happen. It could not.
What do you think, Amber?
I agree. I think that we left it open, and we're such a good group working together. So it's definitely not out of the question.
Okay, before I let you go, each of you, I would like to ask, what are you working on now that you'd like people to know about? Maybe you can share. You working on new projects? Amber?
We are. We have another movie that actually I worked with Ryan on as well. And Robert, we've got a movie coming out called Corsicana, and we're wrapping that one up here pretty soon, and hopefully going to get it out. It's about a historical figure called Bass Reeves. He was a United States Marshal, and we're really excited about it.
I love that story of Bass Reeves. I can't wait to see that. What about you, Ryan? What you up to?
The same thing. Like she said, I produced Corsicana. Amber phoned me, and she was like, "Hey, I have this other movie that I'm EPing on and producing, and I would, love for you to come down and help me produce this." So working on that. That's in post right now. We have a slew of projects with K Factor Films, Nikki Koss's entertainment company that I'm a creative executive on, and production company. And, with all these projects that are going on, there's different stages of each project. So we have some in development, some that are in post, some that we're just reading right now. So there's a slew of things, nothing that, that's going to be released anytime soon, except for Corsicana.
Cool. Okay. Before we let you go, also, if people want to know what you're up to, they want to follow you, what's the best way to do that, Amber?
I'm on Instagram most of the time, so Facebook not so much lately. I think Ryan's a little better about the social media than I am, but Instagram's I check it a little more often. So,
Ryan, you?
Yes, you could follow me on Instagram. It's Ryan DeLaney 90.
Awesome.
My first name, my last name, and 90.
All right. For folks who want more information about the film, go on the internet, nightnightmovie.com. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Ryan. See you guys later.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.